Hi guys, thank you so much for being here, and I really do hope you're doing well. Welcome to this. It's the first in a 4-part mini-series. Yes, another 4-part mini-series on how to remember people's names. It's something that we all forget at some point or another. Someone tells us their name and it's gone. It's like it's just floated out of your mind. And how embarrassing is it? Trying to carry on a conversation where the person is saying your name, but you just can't remember theirs. And you feel like you just can't ask because they've already told you, so you feel like you've been inattentive. And that really leads me on to the subject of this first episode, episode number 1, and that's taking the time to actually remember the person's name. So often when we meet someone new and shake their hands, we're so preoccupied with how we look, how we're coming across, and how we're going to tell them about our name. I know that sounds so strange, but we do worry about to speak and sort of forming our mouth correctly, making sure we've just swallowed so we're not going to spit all over them. All of these types of things are micro-processing in your brain. So your brain's busy, it's a hive of activity, and you're taking in sort of their visual appearance as well. You're taking in and analysing them. Are they a threat? Are they a foe? You know, this is all primordial brain stuff. It's stuff that is firing off, and it stops you from being receptive to the person's name or to much information. So you shake their hand, they say their name, and whoosh, it's gone. Because you never took the time to put the information in the first place. And our minds work in a way similar, or I use the analogy of a filing cabinet room. So it's a room full of filing cabinets, and every new piece of information is a folder that goes in a filing cabinet somewhere in that room. Now, if you had excellent OCD, it would be alphabetized, A through to Z, or A through to Z if you're actually from England. And every file would be easy to find because you'd walk in there and you would know the system. By not placing information into your mind in a structured way, it's like you're opening the door to that room. You don't even go over to the files. You just throw over to the cabinets. You just throw the files in there. So whenever you go looking for information, it's just a big mound of mess, real big mess of files, and it's difficult to get the information. Sometimes you get lucky, open the door, the file's on the floor, and it's the one you want. It doesn't always happen, but let's try to make that happen more often. So the first thing to do is to take time remembering the person's name. If I meet you and I say, "Hi, nice to meet you, my name's Paul," just say to yourself, Paul. Not out loud. I mean, if you say that out loud, the person might get a bit freaked out. But if you just say in your mind, Paul, this man's name's Paul, and you just say that, you'll be surprised. 3 or 4 repetitions, which takes a second or 2, that will lock it in there. And the other thing to do is to use the person's name once you've locked it in there, strengthening it, getting it into your long-term memory, so it's not just in that short-term memory, because that short-term memory, it's like a little buffer zone for your long-term memory, and things can just fly out of it. But once it gets into your long-term memory, it will be stored and recalled a lot easier. So step number 1, just take the time to remember. I know it sounds strange, but you probably don't take the time to remember. I know sometimes even I use these methods a lot, and sometimes I'm just busy, I'm distracted, and I don't just put that information in there, I don't repeat the person's name, and I forget, and it's the worst feeling in the world. So take that time, remember the person's name, and I shall see you in step number 2 of how never to forget someone's name again. Until that video, take care now, bye bye.